my YouTube friends. I've been getting some really good comments on my Facebook and on my Instagram with suggestions for different topic ideas, so shout out to all the people that let me know what you want to hear. It was actually kind of cool to hear from my friend Bree from college, who is in the news business, and we met at FSU doing weather together, and she was asking about some good dairy-free and egg-free recipes. So I asked her, I said, do you have a sensitivity to them? And she said yes. So that's really great that she's being mindful of what she's sensitive to, and that's something that I'm really big on. And so I figured I'm gonna give a whole bunch of just different food ideas. And I know, Bree, that you're super busy because you're in the news business still. That's one of the reasons I got out of it. But I wanted to give you just like an idea of what you can do like on a sustainable and a regular basis. So I'm gonna start by telling you that earlier today, we did a whole bunch of food prep here at my house, and we just literally threw stuff in the oven and threw stuff in a pan, and that's why we call this first recipe that I'm going to show you stuff in a pan. So what you do is you just chop up all the veggies that you have in your fridge and some chicken if you want to cut that up and put it in, some boneless, skinless chicken breast. And it kind of came out like this. So we threw a little bit of the spaghetti squash in, but literally we just took a pan, put some coconut oil in there, threw in like frozen bags of broccoli and carrots, and I think there were also some asparagus stalks in there. And then we took a big thing of spaghetti squash. Well, that was moving in the stove, and we put the spaghetti squash in the oven. And then when it was done, when I'm home in Houston, I'm actually shooting this in Orlando. When I'm home in Houston, I'm usually lazy and just throw it in the fridge when the spaghetti squash comes out. But here, my mother took the time to actually put it in this little dish. So this is some of the spaghetti squash that we have left over. And then we also took just a head of cauliflower and threw it in the oven too. So we seasoned it with our favorite seasonings. Salt and garlic are mine. And if you probably ever come within a foot of me, you'll smell my garlic breath and maybe like the garlic sweating out of my pores. But now it's like, okay, well, what do you do with all this? Well, when you're busy and heading out the door, just throw some in like individual Tupperwares. We kind of already did that here. And then you have meals that are ready to go. Now, something else that's really cool that you can do with cauliflower, we put the cauliflower in the oven, but if you want to steam it, what you can do is you can put it in a blender, right? And then you put in about a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons, depending on how much cauliflower, of coconut oil. Best if this is hot, so right when it's done being steamed, you throw it in here and you grind it up, and it makes mashed potatoes. Well, I mean, you know, cauliflower mashed potatoes. And it's so good. You would be shocked if you tasted it, how good it is. So moving on, this is like the dessert section over here. This is kind of like the dinnery section. But these are all dairy and egg free, everything that I have here for you. And I know that you mentioned that you're breastfeeding too. And so you want to make sure that you're getting enough nutrients in your diet. So what I would say is you definitely want to get the fruits and the veggies. This is something that I personally love. Okay, I call this my paleo milkshake. Typically, I make it with egg whites, but you can do it without egg whites. All you do is you take bananas, you unpeel them. I'm not going to do it now because, well, yeah, because you can have this later, Mom. You can have the egg-free banana milkshake because I know the eggs gross you out. So you unpeel the banana. Good thing I have nails. I was having trouble digging into this. You unpeel the banana. You break it up into pieces. Don't worry, I just washed my hands. And then you throw it in this plastic bag. And then you throw it in the freezer. So I'm going to do that now so you have this for whenever you want it, Mom. And just throw it in the freezer and let it freeze, obviously. It's going to take a couple hours, so you have to prepare ahead. That's kind of the theme of everything, prepare ahead. And once it's frozen, you can put it back in the blender, and you can put in some coconut milk. So this is the kind, honestly, I don't really use coconut milk on a regular basis, but I do it for like special occasion type things. And this keeps popping out, don't mind that. So yeah, you just put in like, I would say maybe 1/3 cup of this, and then a frozen banana, and you can blend it all up. Now, I would recommend a couple words of caution when you're doing bananas. They are high in sugar, right? So you want to account for that in your daily intake of sugar. And if you have it around workout time, that's best. And I would also include a little bit of protein in it to balance out the blood sugar. So there are a couple things you can do. What I did this morning, this is kind of weird, but for breakfast I had chicken, and I actually did this frozen banana thing. So I had like pieces of boneless, skinless chicken breast that was already cooked. And I put in a little bit of this coconut milk and a banana in a blender, and then I put in my favorite things, sea salt, cinnamon, vanilla extract, stevia, and it tasted delicious. If you want to add chocolate, for all of you chocolate lovers out there, then this is great stuff. So it's pure, unsweetened cocoa. It tastes nasty by itself, but that's where stevia comes in, my best friend. And if you want to throw some of that in the blender, it makes it taste real good. Something I did for my dessert last night, because we went out to eat, but I never eat restaurant dessert because that's poison. So I make my own when I come home. And what I did was I cut up a bunch of berries in a bowl. So like raspberries and strawberries. I put in 2 tablespoons of almond butter. Maybe just do 1 and if you want, but a little bit of almond butter, a little bit of coconut flour, a little bit of this, vanilla extract, some of this coconut milk, coconut almond milk, stevia, sea salt, cinnamon. Look at how big this cinnamon is. Have you ever seen a cinnamon so big? You could do the cinnamon challenge a million times with this thing. Yeah, and I just kind of mixed it all in a bowl, and it's really good. It's kind of like my version of cereal. One last thing that I wanted to mention, this is kind of a little bit backwards, but I forgot to tell you another really cool thing you can do with a spaghetti squash is you can kind of recreate spaghetti in pasta by putting in some of this tomato paste. Like sometimes I'll put in like 1 or 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste and in with the spaghetti squash and mix it all up with some chicken. It is so good. So those are kind of like my paleo hacks and just things that I can suggest for what to do on a regular daily basis. And of course, if you want more specific recipes, just let me know. And if you have more specific questions, then find me on Facebook, Instagram. I never check my Twitter, Snapchat. And last thing, subscribe to my channel. It takes a quick click and I'll keep the videos coming and it's totally free. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Bye. Have a good day.